Hello, I'm Rick Stivers. I'd like to welcome you back to Young Martin's Reels. Today, by the way, I am back. I was on a vacation. I went to Tennessee, and while I was there, I picked up a few reels, but none of these happen to be what I picked up on that little trip. Some of you may recall, I have a acquaintance here lately that has been going to yard sales and estate sales picking up reels, and I've been fixing them for him. He's been turning around and selling them on eBay. Well, just so happens Ken is the guy I've been doing that for, and Ken is getting ready to leave town on me. So I need to get these reels done and back to him before he leaves town, if at all possible. So these are the reels that I have left in Ken's stable. One is a Zebco 33, and I don't plan to do a video on that one. I'm going to just clean it up for him, send him on his way. Another one is going to be this Synergy Steel reel by Shakespeare, and I think I may have already done this reel. So this one here, I'm kind of short on time, so I'm probably not going to do this reel either. However, I do have some kind of interesting ones. I have this Coleman reel right here, and I think I probably will do this one if I can find a handle for it. It's missing the handle, and I'd like to be able to turn this one for him. And let's see what we've got here. This one is a Bronson Buddy number 800, and it's a nice little reel. I mean, it's a little grindy. The anti-reverse seems to function, although it does pop quite a bit when you wind it. The bail works fine. Mostly, I think this one just needs a clear cleanup. I think this is going to be one of my videos. I'm going to shoot all these videos within the next 2 or 3 days, and but it will take probably a week or so to get all the editing done. So that Bronson Buddy 800, I'm probably going to do that one. I've got this Zebco Z58, and this one has a missing bail. So I think it's just going to go into the parts pile, and I don't think it's going back to Ken. It's a Zebco Z58 1988 Brunswick reel, and it really is grindy. Even if I did have a good bail for it, it feels like the gears in this thing are plastic. It's a very lightweight reel. I think this one's going to go over here in the parts pile. Then over here we have this Daiwa. It's a graphite. It is a silent anti-reverse AG 2050X. And this one here seems to be a nice little reel. It is got a click going. Okay, well, let's see if we can fix that real quick. It's the handle's loose, and see if I can tighten the handle up just a little bit. See if we can take care. No, it's still loose. See there? I've got the handle pulled all the way down tight, and yet it's still. So I may need to add a washer inside here. I'm not sure what I need to do, but let's see if we can get this one fixed. So this one here is going to be the subject of one of my videos. So far I've got three that we're doing videos for. Then we've got this Zebco 802, and I haven't done a Zebco 802. It shares a lot of parts with a 202, but it's a much more complex reel. Definitely going to do the 802. And then we have this Olympic Spark 3100, and I am definitely doing this reel. This is our reel for today. This is our reel project, and it's pretty lightweight. I don't suspect there's a whole lot going on with this reel. It's got a slam bail, which means instead of having a trip mechanism inside up underneath here, as the bail comes around, it hits this shoulder right here, and that flips the bail over. But it's a very dirty reel, and but this is our project reel for today. And if anybody wants to see one of these other 4 first, just leave a comment in the comment section. This one's going to get posted tonight. These other 4 reels, the Zebco 808, this Daiwa AG 2050X, the Bronson Buddy 800, and the Coleman QRS quick release system. If you want to see any, I think it's a CO10. That means anything to anybody. If anybody wants to specifically see one in these 4 reels prior to any of the rest of them, leave me a message on the comments section, and we'll go from there. So for now, let's get started. All right, we're going to start off by removing, let's see, this one, let's do anti-reverse is functional. We're going to take the anti-reverse off because it needs to be disengaged over here. So we're going to take the anti-reverse mechanism and disengage it. We're going to take Ken's tag off. That's how I know that it belongs to him. And we're going to start off by removing the nut or the knob on the drag. I'll take that off first. Set that over to the side. Take this off. Check our clicker. It's not broken. It's in good shape under there. And wow, that's unexpected. I don't believe that's supposed to be doing that. I think there should be a clip inside here. We may be missing a clip inside. I may not be able to do much with this Olympic without a clip for it. That should not be popping up like that. But we'll see where we can take it. Let's go ahead and remove the handle. And with that done, we're going to take out this screw. And somebody's been into this numerous times because they have really dinged up this screw quite a bit. I might do a video on that one day, how to dress up these screws and make them look better. I learned the technique from watching videos on gunsmithing on how to correct this and clean it up. All right, now we're going to take the side cover off. There we go. And let's see what we've got inside. Inside it doesn't look too bad, just dirty, but we are missing our clip right here. There should be a horseshoe clip right there to hold that together. I wonder if I might be able to steal one out of this Zebco reel. It's very possible that the Zebco reel has the same kind of clip in it. So, and since it's going to be used for parts anyway, then this is an excellent opportunity to take it apart and look. Okay, here's its horseshoe clip. Hopefully we can make it fit into this one. Okay, it looks like it may be too thick. It's a pretty thick horseshoe clip. But okay, if aside from being too thick, it looks like it's going to work. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to take this off, and we're going to see if it will fit in this, how it fits the slot. If all it is too thick, I can take and file it down, make it thinner, and it should fit. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this pin out of the crosswind block and see if we can pull the axle shaft out, which we can. There we go. Let's see how we're fitting here, aside from being too thick. Okay, that looks like it's going to fit okay once I thin it down. So we'll see what I can do for that, and I will be back. When we go to put it back, I'll tell you what I did to fix it. All right. The rest of the Zebco reel is going to go over here, and we'll end up in a parts pile in a bag with its label. Okay, there's our crosswind block. Here comes our gear. That's our main gear assembly, and everything else here seems to be in great shape. Let's take a look at this. Aside from needing to be lubricated, it seems to be okay. All right, I'll be back to you in just a few minutes. All the parts should be clean, and I should have this filed down to an acceptable thickness. Well, I'd like to be able to tell you that it only took me a couple of minutes to modify the old clip so that it would work as a new clip, but I would be lying. It took me almost an hour to make that thing so it would function properly. So I recommend it. You never lose one, and if you break one, just try not to. They're more than a little difficult to make to get them to fit exactly right. All right, so we're ready to put this thing back together. We're going to start off with the rotor assembly, and we're going to put some grease in here and along this track right here that this new clip is going to ride in, because it has to be able to spin in there easily. Okay, we are also going to put some grease on the pinion gear. It's been inspected, it's in good shape. Okay. Now we are going to slide the rotor back in. Spin it up a little bit, that's good. I'm going to add just a little more grease to make sure that this thing slides smoothly. And I will tell you, it took me a while to get this thing to ride like it's supposed to. Okay, and slide it back in. And I ended up using a combination of a work sharp grinder, a file, actually 3 files, a piece of sandpaper. There. Okay. And all is said and done. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. We did this too quickly. Before we put this in, we have to install our main gear. And I did make this thing so it was a snug fit. I don't want it to be able to just slide out. And I don't want the rotor to be able to wobble. So I made it a really nice, snug fitting clip. So if you have one of these that the rotor's worn, you can make one of these. Appropriate size drill bit, some sheet metal. You could drill a hole, flatten it back out, trim it out. You could make your own shim. And so if you needed to do one of these, that's what you could do. All right, before we go putting this main gear back in, we've inspected it. And I didn't notice on the way out, but there was a shim left riding right here. And that shim goes right here. So we've gone ahead and reinstalled that. And I'm going to put a little bit of grease on it just to hold it in place. I'm going to put some oil on the shaft here where it's going to ride inside. And I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put grease on the gear teeth. And it doesn't take a lot. Anything that's more than just covering the teeth is just going to be kind of slung off. But you do want to put some right here on the face because your crosswind block is going to ride there. All right, let's go ahead and slide the main gear back in. Slide this. There you go. That's why I had to wait, because that needed to go in first. I have managed to get the anti-reverse out of the way. There we go. In goes the rotor. Now in goes the clip. And you got to get it in that groove for it to ride properly. There we go. Okay. There we go. Anti-reverse is working. There we go. Put the anti-reverse back on. There we go. It's working. Now we're going to reinstall our axle shaft. And I've been giving this some thought. Dennis always told me that you should put grease on this, and I always thought it would slow the reel down. But I got to thinking about it. When you look at the torque involved with a crosswind block. I don't really believe that putting grease on this shaft is really going to have that big an impact. It will on your rotating surface, such as your gear shaft, your crankshaft on your gear. But on this sliding surface with the torque that's applied, I've decided that I'm reconsidering that. So, if you guys wish to do it, put it in. Now, I'm going to grease the crosswind block. I'm going to set it in place. If I remember correctly, the pin goes to the rear. I have been out a little bit, so it could go somewhere else, but I believe it goes to the rear. All right, we're going to slide this around, line up the hole like so, and then we should be able to put the pin back in. With the pin back in, this is when you'll know for certain that you have it, is you should be able to wind it around. Your crosswind block should go all the way forward and all the way aft. If I had flipped this around the other way, when it got right about here, the crosswind block would be hitting that pinion gear. All right, so that's all sitting like it should. Let's go now. Put the side cover back on. Put my screw back in. And no, I didn't go and dress up the screw as I had anticipated doing, because I got involved in taking care of the missing C-clip. And remember, this is a reel that I'm doing for free, so that it can be turned around and resold on eBay, probably for $5 or less. So I'm only going to put so much work into it. If it were your own and one that you wanted or had sentimental value, yeah, you might want to take time to dress this out. Okay, let's go ahead and put the handle on it. And let's see how she tightens down, like so. There we go. Nice little reel. There is no wobble whatsoever in that rotor. So there's a way that you can take out rotor wobble if you've got one that's loose. There we go. And that brings us down to taking out the drag washer, which in this case, it looks like it's one single drag washer. And that's all it is, one felt drag washer. It's clean inside, so I'm not even going to bother to run a cotton swab through it. We're going to oil, because it is a felt washer. We're going to oil it. We're going to come back and put just a dab of grease right here, because that has to be able to slide there in the drag feature. Slide that down on there. You can hear the clicker. Let's go ahead and put a drop of oil on the clicker. Reason being, it doesn't really need lubrication, but that'll help keep it from corroding. A lot of these things break because they get rusted. Okay, it's on. Tighten this down. Okay, let's loosen it just a scotch. It's a little too tight. I tightened it down. Now I don't want to loosen back up. Let's see what we got under here. Okay. That's not going to do much for drag. There needs to be another washer. This is missing a washer. Let's see if there's another part in this Zebco that can come over. Look at there. There's another Zebco part that we can utilize. See if that'll fit. Yep, there we go. Now, let's put the drag knob on, tighten it. There we go. Now we've got a good adjustable drag. Okay, so obviously There's a drag washer. But that washer was the compression washer needed to compress on that drag. It was missing also. So that was 2 parts that were missing out of this reel that we were able to take out of a parts reel, not even the same brand, and get it up and running again. So there's one for Ken, all done. That is the Olympic Spark 3100 high quality reel. I don't know about the high quality. It's a nice little reel. It's been repaired. It's ready to go fishing, and it could stand to have some new line put on it. And my grandson would like this reel just for no other reason than the fact that he doesn't like a reel that you have to turn the handle to flip the bail back. He wants to be able to manually flip his bail back. And you can do that with this one without any tricky, intricate work. So there you go. Hopefully you liked this. If you did, please hit the like button. If you didn't, that's okay. Hit the dislike button. Tell me what you didn't like about it. And in the meantime, I'm going to put Ken's tag back on this one, put it in his drawer, and that one's going to go back to him. And it will either end up on eBay or it's going to go with him up to Ohio when he moves up there. So for now, that's Rick Stivers with Young Martin's Reels, signing out.